complicated story. Hey, everybody, we're back here with one of the leaders on the January 6th panel, Congressman Jamie Raskin. I want to talk about one thing that we heard on the last hearing is, I know myself and many people that I've spoken to who watched it were affected, were sort of emotionally affected by learning that the Secret Service was trying to contact their families to say goodbye because they feared for their own lives. You guys have this information long before we do, but what was the effect, or were you affected the way we were by hearing that information?
Well, actually, none of us were surprised because the exact same thing was going on the House floor. Everybody was calling their spouses, their kids, their parents to say goodbye. You know, all of us had assumed if one person had somehow gotten into the Capitol and had eluded the security that we have without a background screening, without going through the metal detectors, that person would be shot on sight. But instead, we had hundreds of people descend upon the Capitol, and most people were convinced that somebody was going to take out an AR-15. And we had Democratic colleagues who were up in the gallery who crawled over to the Republican side because they thought they would be safer over there that night. If a gunman showed up. People were taking off the little pins we have to get us in the building so they wouldn't be recognized. So when we heard that the Secret Service men and women were calling their families, all of us just nodded because the same thing was happening. And of course, I had my daughter and my son-in-law with me that night, and it was an objectively terrifying situation.
When did y'all find the footage of Josh Hawley scampering like a forest creature toward the exits?
There's lots more where that came from.
Well, really? Because I think America's crying for a sequel there.
You know, the thing that gets me, and the reason that I felt totally fine about our showing that, is there were people who were egging on the mob, inciting the crowd, chanting 1776, when the founders would be turning over in their graves to see a bunch of fascists storming the U.S. Capitol. And then later denying the whole thing, minimizing it, whitewashing it. I mean, Donald Trump has given them their orders when he said, you know, his crowd greeted the police officers with hugs and kisses, which is presumably how 150 of them ended up wounded, injured in the hospital with broken arms, legs, contusions, concussions, traumatic brain injuries, and now post-traumatic stress syndrome. I mean, this is real life, and you know, for Donald Trump, it's a big joke.
Now, the Secret Service cannot find their texts to each other, and they sent one text, which almost seems like you, if you pardon the expression.
Well,
it seems insulting to send one text.
Well, when was the last time you got one text in a day?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the Secret Service has said, oh, yeah, big mistake, oops-a-daisy, we can't find them. Do you buy their explanation at all?
Is it for sale? I
That's the question,
I don't really buy that for 1 minute. For one thing, isn't it a little odd that all of the texts would vanish for January 6th and January 5th? You know, of all the days, what an odd coincidence that is. You know, there was a pre-planned migration of the phones that just happened to be on the same day as the first violent insurrection in American history. So I'm a little dubious of that, so count me a skeptic of that. But I'll tell you this, that everybody who has tried to hide a fact and hide the truth from this committee has gotten his or her comeuppance because there are other people coming forward to tell the truth all the time.
Well, at the end of the hearing, Representative Cheney said, the dam is breaking. Give us a sense of the amount of new information you're getting. Is this a flood? Is it the Hoover Dam busted open? Or is this a trickle through like a Dutch dike?
Well, you know, we've talked to hundreds of witnesses, hundreds and hundreds of witnesses. We have hundreds of thousands of documents. And this is not only the first violent insurrection incited and organized by a president. It's the first one that was pretty much taped instantaneously by everybody who was there. So we have remarkable documentation of exactly what happened. So, you know, this isn't exactly like an Agatha Christie mystery, Stephen. You know, I mean, we know who done it from the beginning, but the reason it's been so gripping for people is to actually see such an extraordinary thing unfold as a plan to overthrow the world's first modern constitutional democracy, and the people aren't going to have it. Donald Trump's going to be on his own at the end of this thing. The people are not going to have it.
We have to take a little break, but we're right back with more Congressman Jamie Raskin, everybody.